For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Los Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Garden Sorts Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school leather jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you. Hoops New Mexico Basketball Courts is coming to Albuquerque soon. 10 full basketball courts and a whole lot more. For more information, contact Dan Serrano at hoopsnm@aybl.com.
Welcome to Red Menace TV, and actually this week it is all Caged Minds. Leroy is off in an undisclosed tropical location, getting his R&R in before the upcoming Lobo football season. And Michael Carlisle is on his way out to Las Vegas for the festivities of International Fight Week, which includes the Hall of Fame induction on Thursday, your Ultimate Fighter finale on Friday, and the big event UFC 213 on Saturday. Here locally, we'll be having King of the Cage Chosen Few on Saturday at the Santa Ana Star Center. This week, it's all MMA. We're talking about everything about people getting punched in the face. And I got a bunch of guests for us. Normally we only have one. This week we're gonna have 3. We're getting behind the scenes actually at the Jackson Wink facility, the Jackson Wink Academy. We have 2 men joining us this week that help make the building run. The general manager, Michael Lobomov, and Mark Aragon, the social media media manager, also Mark Aragon, MA2 LLC Media, right?
Correct.
Got all that? Thank you guys for being here this week.
Thanks for having us.
So first off, Michael, you're the general manager at the Jackson Wink Academy, but you're definitely not a native New Mexican, so let's get a little bit about you and your background first.
Well, I'm originally from Moscow, Russia, but I've been in the United States for since 1996 when I moved here. I'm actually now an American citizen for a while now. I have I served in the United States military here, and I've been training martial arts for a while as well. Just recently been promoted to brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Trained some Sambo back in the day, and was fortunate enough to get involved in sport of MMA, which I loved from day one, and started working a lot with Russian fighters back in the day, which brought me traveling with the fighters to Jackson Wink facility, the old one. So I used to come there, and then got to know Coach Winklejohn, Coach Jackson, and here I am now.
So do you consider yourself a martial artist?
Yes, 100%. I love the sport. I train every day with the fighters, with everyone. Either striking, wrestling, grappling. I go to also Gracie Barra train in the gi, so it's my life. I love it. I love what it did for me. If it wasn't for the sport, I wouldn't be here now. So.
And then down at the end we have Mark, and you're the media manager. So how did that role open up? What was the even brainstorm behind the gym getting a media person? How did you get into this role?
So it's kind of a funny story. I had no interest in MMA to that point. I was in law enforcement and was doing video and photography on the side. And Mr. Winklejohn was looking for a person to make a promotion for his family gym. And he asked around, my name came up. He asked to meet me. I met him next to his family gym at a Starbucks. We talked for a little while, just hit it off immediately. He said, "You're hired. Come do a little promo at my gym." So we started making a little promo, and he said, "You know what? I want to implement some other things from my original fight days." It turns out he was a heck of a fighter back in the day himself, and so we got some footage of that and some pictures and stuff. And I told him, you know, it'd probably be a good idea to implement some of your high-level athletes that you train. And so he said, well, you have to come to my pro gym for that. So I met him at his pro gym, the old location of Jackson Wink over kind of in the war zone part of town. And so I met him there, walked in, was overwhelmed with the biggest names in MMA. I mean, I literally walked in. Holly Holm was there training, Diego Sanchez, Alistair Overeem, John Jones, the whole crew. It was one of those days. It was must have been a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. I can't remember the day, but I know now those are the most popular training days, and everybody shows up on those days. So walked in, saw everyone there. Wink interrupted class, said, you know what, he's here to take some pictures of everybody and video, and that's all there is to it. Everyone just kind of shut up, looked at me, and it was pretty surreal. Misha happened to be there that day, and
we met. Yeah. I remember the first time we met.
He was actually touring with some Russian fighters, and he was kind of a translator / manager for these guys. Kind of just waved at him, didn't know who he was at the time, what his purpose was, other than Wink said that he was with the Russians and he was kind of doing work with them. So we started seeing each other around the gym a lot, and neither of us ever left. So.
Yeah.
And then for Michael, so tell us about that. From translator and kind of a training partner and a manager, how did you transition into then deciding to move your life here to Albuquerque and take on this role of managing not just the gym and these fighters, but you have the dorms, and it's a living, breathing facility right there?
Definitely. I mean, I would say, everything happens for a reason, and I always say, like, what happened to me is just being at the right time at the right place, and maybe just by grace of God, really just being put in that position, because I always wanted to be in this business, and I was always looking for a way to get in. And it just, when I came over, like you said, with the Russian fighters, we were there, and I talked to Coach Winklejohn, and he's like, hey, I'm opening a new facility, and you know, if you can send fighters to me, because he knew I had a good connection with like Russian fighters, and they obviously wanted Russian fighters, and they've seen all of them coming in, you know. And he said, if you send me the fighters, you know, we'll work stuff like that, and you know, I'll be grateful for that and stuff like that. I said, sure, let me try this and that, and then through the conversation, he said, you know, I'm looking for like a general manager, you know, stuff like that, and I thought about it, and we talked more, and I talked about my credentials and the things that I was capable of, and the things that I knew, and the things that I've learned in my life, and my passion for the sport. And literally, he like kind of hired me the next day, because like what happened is, like, we were there, we talked, he put me in the car, we drove to the new building as it was in the construction, and here I am, he's showing me around, taking me to all the rooms, and taking me to the roof and saying, this is his plan, this is what he's going to do, things like that. I'm like, I can't believe he's showing me this, and he's like explaining this to me. So, and we drove around more, and as we were driving, like, from the gym to the gym, and kept talking, and once again, here I am. So it's obviously everything that I learned from in my life up to this point kind of like came together and made me who I am today and doing what I do. You know, it's kind of cool.
And Mark, what you're doing today, people that have not tried it before, because I've tried it, fight photography is not the simplest thing in the planet. It is incredibly hard, and you have to tweak it and perfect it. So tell us real quick a little bit about your journey through fight photography and learning your style.
So I learned on the fly. I mean, I was a detective with the police department is how I learned how to take photography, and that was of dead people on the ground who didn't move in dark alleys and such, and so that was a totally different thing. But fighting and combat sports photography is a totally different thing. Obviously, it's lots of movement and lots of focusing and getting the right settings to get it just right. So it was a lot of trial and error on my part, and I had the luxury of being able to practice a lot with the guys at the old gym, and you can see the progression of the skill level moving up, getting better and better, and talking to a lot of mentors that are doing it for a living. So it helped talking and practicing a lot, and started doing some event photography, and that's where you really learn if you know what you're doing, because the lighting at these venues are just horrible for photography, as you've seen, as you've noticed. It's they like to keep it dark and with weird lights and trying to get shots. It's not photography. It's not a photography-minded business. It's the fighting. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun capturing cool moments in the low light and getting it to see all over social media and wherever people share it and such. So it's fun.
Michael, you've had this martial arts journey. You've been around the world, it sounds like, with a lot of fighters. What makes the Jackson Wink Academy a special facility?
There's nothing like this exists in this world, to be honest with you. What we build is something very unique. I think what separates us is the environment and the vibe that we have at the gym, you know. And I mean, I hear fighters every day that come through, just like they come in for a camp, and you know, the camp, they do a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you know what, Misha, Michael, I'm moving to Albuquerque, and I hear it every single day from fighters from around the world. I have a fighter from Italy, Nicole. She's like, came for a camp, moved here. I have another fighter from Italy, moved here. From Portugal, moved here. You know, so obviously, the environment and the vibe and what we do makes them very happy. So I think Tom Ducamwa from France, UFC fighter, you know, he's been coming here, and now he's planning on staying here for a long time. So, and you hear the stories nonstop, which makes you, you know.
John Jones, the
biggest name John Jones moved here, you know, to Albuquerque. So it's, I think it's the friendly atmosphere. That's the most important part. where everyone from as big of a fighter as John Jones is, or Alistair Overeem, and guys like that make even the beginning fighters, the amateurs that come through and try and start their career, make them feel welcome. You know, like a lot of people don't know about about John Jones or Alistair, that, you know, let's say whenever a new fighter shows up, John Jones will be the first one to come up, greet them, shake their hand, and say, hey, welcome to the team, you know, stuff like that, take pictures with them. Whenever some kids come through, they will greet them, you know, so just whole environment, it's just the vibes, everyone's happy, always laughing. You have rarely anyone fighting, you know, because I've traveled to many gyms around the world, and big gyms too, and you'll see the segregation, you know, Russians over there, Brazilians over there, you know, whoever is over there, you know, and they're all kind of like in their own pussies looking at each other, you know, like measuring each other up. It doesn't exist here. You know, this is the type of thing I try to promote, that we are, you know, who we are, and we do what we do.
The Jackson Wink Academy is definitely one of the biggest melting pots of cultural interaction I've ever seen. It's a really cool vibe, and especially people don't speak the same language, but training and kind of pointing, it's amazing how, especially in the grappling, things kind of just translate. With the striking, it seems to be even easier, because when a coach tells you guys to look, kind of people understand what the combination, but it's amazing to see how grappling transcends languages, with just pointing, people kind of get how they're supposed to flow. You hit on something though a second ago, the amateur team. Something we don't get to talk about a lot, but I am elbow deep in that scene. We don't get a crazy amount of pro fights here, so I am into that amateur scene. Tell us about the amateur program, how you think it's building, and also where you see MMA kind of going, because we see from these amateurs there's a high level of skill, making me very enthusiastic for the future of all of MMA.
Definitely. I mean, our amateur program was started about, I believe, maybe like a year ago or so, and we've been seeing a lot of success with the amateur program. We have a lot of fighters from all around the world coming in, even amateur fighters, and because originally what we had is that we thought that it's going to be just pro facility, okay, just for pro fighters, but with the availability of so many dorms and so many beds available for fighters, you know, and I've been getting so many requests through our website, which is jacksonwing.com, of fighters with very minimal experience, you know, the ones that just beginning, or let's say if someone was a wrestler, let's say, and you know they're trying to transition to MMA, and in order for me to obviously keep the gym moving, you know, me and Coach Wink and everyone on the team came up with the idea of, you know, let's create a separate program for amateurs, start inviting them in, and we have an excellent coach, Joe Villasenor, former Pride fighter, Dream fighter, King of the Cage champion, 40 pro fights. He's in charge of the program, and I mean, we have huge success. As a matter of fact, right now, next month, we have a huge amateur tournament in Arizona, where it's going to be like our team versus Arizona team. Whoever wins gets to fight California. It's going to be televised on NBC, and it's crazy exposure for amateur fighters. And this is where you get the chance to come through the ranks, show what you're capable of, and make a name for yourself. Like, for example, Chris Brown, you know, he became a King of the Cage amateur champion, you know, stuff like that. Also, he came in and said, hey, I want to join your program, and stuff like that. And he's probably going to be one of the future stars at the gym, you know, from what the potential has been seen. And there's many guys like that. I can talk about this for hours, you know, about all the guys that we have, right? Oh, yeah. And it's successful. It's very successful.
Quick last thing. Can't have people from the Jackson Wink Academy here without asking, you guys have any clue what you think's next for Holly? Because I know that's what the fans want to know about. Any kind of inkling you can give us, what you guys would expect next for Holly?
Well, I spoke to Holly yesterday. I asked, is anything going on, you know, and it's kind of like, I'm sure there's something in the works, but it's not really for me to get too deep into it. So I don't bother fighters because there's so much going on. But there's always something going on in the books, you know. But it's just, I run the gym. I don't, you know, I interact with fighters all the time, but I try not to like bug them because they get bugged too much already.
Mr. Winklejohn is pretty adamant that he believes she deserves a title shot for her next fight. Whether that happens or not is out of all of our pay grade, but I know they're going to politic for it with her management and such, and you know, she's deserving of it. She's been there, and she'll do it again. So. We're confident in that, and I know Mr. Winklejohn will get her ready like he's got her ready for the past 20 years. You know, that's his job, and we're just blessed to witness it.
We've had some serious talk here about MMA and getting to know the inner workings of the Jackson Wink Academy and the guys that help it go. Now we're going to get to some clowning around and go to Rusty.
Hey everybody, it's me. It's the Rusty the Sports Clown show featuring me, Rusty the Sports Clown. Okay, check this out. You know how Hallmark Channel has like all those Christmas specials before Christmas? Well, here at Rusty the Sports Clown, we're having the 4th of July special after the 4th of July. Cool, huh? I hope everyone had a safe and awesome 4th of July and all that cool stuff. All right, that's why I'm still in my, 4th of July stuff. Hey, check out the time. Oh my gosh, look at it. Look how big you've got in my time. Okay, it says it's the sports break. Off to the sports break. All right, first up, we have the America's Cup. How many of you remember that? Yeah, New Zealand kicked our butts. That was kind of bad. All right, the Kiwis, that's what they call themselves down in New Zealand for some weird reason. Okay, in the best of 7, or let me fix that, the first to 7, they beat us 7-1. Yeah, how embarrassing. Okay, that means that the next America's Cup is going to be held down under in New Zealand and they're going to have rule changes, okay? That they go into effect once we get down there. Okay, the new rules are no more catamarans. Yeah, no more, because those things are like amazingly fast and unfair and stuff to some countries. So they're going back to a single-hulled sailing ship. So let's see if like Sweden's skipper can fall overboard again. Can't wait to see it. All right, I have a few sports quotes to add into the show here and there. Okay, today the first is from Pat Williams. Okay, and Pat Williams said, okay, this is very cool. Okay, and this could be said about our America's Cup team. We can't win at home, we can't win on the road, and as general manager, I just can't figure out where else to play. Huh? Cool, huh? All right, NFL news. Here we go. It's the calm before the storm. Only about a month now until training camps and preseason start. I can't wait. I'm getting so excited. And as Bill Shankly said, some people believe football is a matter of life and death. Yeah, I'm very disappointed with that attitude, he said. I can assure you it's much, much more important than that. Yeah. Okay, remember last week I mentioned my friend Renee? She was all upset because I didn't mention that team from Pittsburgh enough, the people that steal a lot or something like that, whoever they are. Okay, she said something about, it's all about rings. Who's got more rings? Well, let's see. All I know is that the last ring the Cowboys won, who did they beat? Oh, yeah, the Steelers. Yeah, go Cowboys. All right, moving on. Major League Baseball. Check this out. Home runs are flying out of the park at a higher rate than ever. I know, they must be juiced baseballs or, put them on steroids or something. June of 2017, that's the month it just ended, because we're in July. June just ended. Okay. June saw the most home runs ever hit over the course of a month, with 1,101 hit in 408 games played. I know, that's almost 3 per game. Not 1, not 2, but 3. 3. Yeah, a lot. All right, let's see. And other news, the Astros, they're only like 14 or 15 games in front of the rest of the AL West. Yeah, but we don't care about that. As Yogi Berra is quoted, baseball is 90% mental. Yeah, the other half is physical. He also said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. That guy was very smart. All right, NBA news. All right, other than Stephen A. Smith and like a bazillion New Yorkers, who else cares about the New York Knicks? Yeah, no one. So we're not going to waste our time with, that Phil Jackson fiasco. Or are we? Nah, we won't. Okay. Former Lobo Tony Snell, he's going to get $44 million over 4 years in a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Awesome. Good job. Okay, Steph Curry, meanwhile, he is only getting $201 million over 5 years with the Golden State Warriors. Oh my gosh. And Blake Griffin, he's going to get $175 million from the Clippers. Where does all this money come from? I don't need that much. I'm not greedy. $500,000 would be good. That athletic director's job, that's still open. I'm still running. Vote for me. That pays like $400,000. I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. Okay, PGA news. That's like golf. All right, here's what happens. At the Quicken Loans National, former Lobo, David Lingmerth, okay, he led after 3 rounds. And another former Lobo, Spencer Levine, he was in 3rd. Unfortunately, they played 4 rounds. And both finished in a tie for 5th. Yeah, sadness. As Martina Navratilova was quoted, whoever said it's not whether you win or lose that counts, yeah, they probably lost. Okay, Red Menace peeps, here's the deal. If you want to see the rest of the show where I'm going to talk all about kabaddi, you're going to want to know what that is, I know. Watch the show on my show right before the Steve Davis Show. Amazingness. All right, and if you want to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, hey, follow me to a Lobos game because I'm very famous, like more famous than Leroy almost. If there's a game, an event, a meet, a match, whatever, or, you know, maybe Michael Carlisle's having a hamburger fry, just go. That's what I like to say. See you next time. Bye.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs.
We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, talk to State Farm agent Michelle Rudolph or Marty Size in Albuquerque.
We're back with more Caged Minds, and we're having more time with Mark and Michael. Wanted to talk to Mark a little bit more, talk about the future of MA Media and Jackson Wink, what you're doing to mold the two, what kind of projects are in the works.
So MA2 Media is basically the internal official photographer / videographer for the gym. And what I do is run the social media on the side. Actually, with Misha. We have a huge social media following between Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We even have some Russian VK stuff going on. We have covered every single base to promote the gym. So if anyone follows us, they see that we do a lot of behind the scenes type stuff, and that's what I want to do. Is promote not only the gym and the high level guys. Of course, everyone wants to see a picture of John and Holly and you know, Alistair, the big names. They want to see pictures of the big names, but you know, it's not all. The gym is not just about them. You know, they are the biggest draws and the biggest names, but you know, these amateurs. Everyone started as an amateur at some point in their career. So I love going through practice and getting pictures, some candid pictures of these guys in practice. And I post probably 50 to 100 pictures a week into our little secret group on social media, and the fighters can pick pictures out of there to share on their social medias. So a lot of the pictures that you see are pictures that they took from the little secret group, and they're able to post those and promote themselves, because quite frankly, that's how they're going to get their names out there, is by promoting themselves, because a lot of them don't have managers, don't have the opportunities that the high-level guys have. So I help them by getting these little behind-the-scenes shots and stuff like that. So it's fun.
So basically, the gym, once you become a member of the team, it's all encompassing. You don't have a manager. We're helping you to promote you, not just as becoming a better fighter, but as becoming that better almost entertainer. You need that push in the back, because this is a business. And as a business, we're seeing it grow. And one of the more interesting growths, I think, lately was the changing of World Series of Fighting over to the Pro Fighters League. And I know you guys have several fighters at the gym that are going to be with that promotion. And Michael, from your dealings as a manager, what do you see as the future and the possibilities for a Pro Fighters League, something with seasons, championships, and salary pays for the fighters?
I actually happened to speak to Ray Saffo for about a good hour a couple of weeks ago, and because I have one of the fighters that was interested in joining the tournament. So I mean, I'm not going to disclose everything in and out about it, but it sounds very interesting from what they're trying to pull. I mean, what I like about it most is that anyone can have a chance to make that money and make the name for themselves. You can have let's say the dark horse of the tournament that beats everyone up, and just wins the tournament, and no one knew about them, and here you go, you make $1 million, at the end of the day, if that's the case, and everyone gets an equal opportunity. That's what I like. It's not just about, Conor McGregor getting, push, or whoever is, the face and stuff like that. That's why it's called PFL. Like in football or any other sport, you can have a team that doesn't perform well and come back from behind and start winning, and win a Super Bowl that no one expected to win. Same thing. It's like with PFL, you could be, and I believe show starts from 2018, so from January to December, and you win the whole season. You become, let's say, a 2018 champion, and you can get entered into the next year. You can be, it's like a Super Bowl. You get like a ring. So I've been PFL 2018 champion, the next year 2018 champion. And so, it's going to become part of like NASCAR. So it's going to be a lot of eyes on the show. Maybe 200,000 people in attendance when they do the shows. So a lot of eyes on a lot of fighters. So its exposure is good, the money is good, so hopefully it all comes to fruition, and we get to see this, because, like I said, we can have, say, Joby Sanchez enters the tournament, and boom, he becomes a champ that year and makes that money.
A hint on who's going to be our guest here a little bit later, but I also love the thought. I loved Bellator when it first started, when they did the tournaments, and you can literally say that WSOF has won 10 times that, because the Bellator tournament, I think it was 6-figure check at the end of it. Now you're talking about a 7-figure check. That is just blown away, life-changing money for one of these athletes, and it's an evolution in the sport that was desperately needed. I feel bad for the guys that I talked to that are working a full-time job and doing this. You're one of the highest, athletes in your profession. They deserve to be paid like it. It's good to see PFL doing something like that. Yeah,
and what's great about it is that even the person or the fighter that wins, let's say, second or third place is also looking at like 6 figures, like 300,000, 200,000. You can still make way better money than 8 plus 8 and 10 plus 10, stuff like that. So I think it's headed in the right direction, and from what I understand, the PFL is being backed up by some powerful people with a lot of money. So hopefully, it takes off and continues to grow in that direction, because I believe, if you make major leagues, you're on TV, you deserve to get paid that way,
I love hearing that there's another player in the game. Bellator was different than the UFC, and I kind of feel like they're catching up and cloning themselves almost to be a UFC type model, except a little more live events on Spike TV that are freer. But other than that, they're kind of copying them. This is brilliant. Ryzen's doing their thing in Japan, becoming their own league. ACB has started to rise up around the global MMA scene, their own flavor. And now you have PFL. I love seeing, because there is more talent than we could possibly ever fit under one umbrella in MMA, that there are major players now, and that it's not just the UFC or bust, that there really is a viable future for these athletes everywhere. One last thing, though, before I gotta let you guys go. Wouldn't it be right if I didn't ask you about this? Mayweather, McGregor, any thoughts from you two about the fight?
Go ahead, Mark. You'll go first.
See, my take on this is Mayweather has, 49? He's 49-0. And he's already patented or the 50-0 logo or moniker, whatever. This is 49 high-level athletes that he's beat and maintained that for a very, very long time. And he's going up against an MMA guy who's got some wins and some belts, but he's going into boxing. And so I think if I was a betting man, yeah, I'd be putting my money on Mayweather. But the sport is fascinating because all it takes is one punch, and you never know. A lot of people may be underestimating the power of McGregor because we've seen him do knockouts in 15 seconds also. So
I kind of like made the way where I don't make predictions on fights, but I've been in the fight business for a while now, and the way I see it is that fight is a fight. Anything can happen in a fight. There's a lot of advantages on Mayweather's side, being who he is and what he's accomplished and things like that. And there's a lot of advantages on McGregor's side, being a bigger guy, having a punch,
younger
guy, things like that. So anytime I watch a fight, I always see it as a 50-50 chance, because we've seen some craziest upsets in the history of any sport. It's a combat. It's punches are thrown, punches land. Someone gets knocked out, somebody gets hit here and there. That's why people that say, oh, I give 0% to McGregor hitting him. You can't be that certain. This is absurd. You can't be that certain that McGregor is not going to land a single punch. What are you talking about? It's a fight. Maybe he won. Maybe he let an accidental elbow and knock him out. Who knows? Anything can happen, right? So, but I think if McGregor wins, it'd be great for MMA.
It's been great having you guys here. It's been great for me. Great talking to you guys. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with our next guest.
Thanks for having us.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico High School athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Los Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Garden Sports Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.ProviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you. Hoops New Mexico Basketball Courts is coming to Albuquerque soon. 10 full basketball courts and a whole lot more. For more information, contact Dan Serrano at hoopsnm@aybl.com.
Tuesday, July 11th on UFC Fight Pass, Dana White has a new show debuting. You can have your choice of commentators. You can have your Snoop Dogg, Uriah Faber commentators. Yes, that's going to be an option. Or you can listen to your regular UFC commentators. It's Dana White's Tuesday Night Contenders. 5 fights each week, and each fight has the ultimate prize at the end of it. You win, and you get that UFC contract. A part of that very first episode is going to be our guest right now, Joby Sanchez. Thank you for joining me. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
So I know you probably didn't get to eat much, but are you able to at least enjoy the fireworks this year?
Yeah, it was cool hanging out with family. Really enjoyed that. Didn't get to enjoy the barbecue, but it's all right. Next week after my fight, I will.
Is that what the plans are? We're having a barbecue after the victory?
Having a barbecue.
Did you expect an opportunity like this to come your way? You came off the win against Jesus Urbina, and I even wrote up at CageMinds.com, you should go check it out, that you were going to be competing for the GKO flyweight title. A huge opportunity, but a massive one comes your way.
I was pretty surprised that Dana was throwing something like this. I wasn't surprised that I was picked for it. I have a good management team, Iridium Sports Agency. And but when I heard this was going, like, I didn't even hear about it. My manager called and said, hey, Dana White's having a new show. We're going to put you on it. And I was excited for it. I was looking forward to my fight with GKO, but this is way better, way bigger opportunity.
You already went out to Vegas, I believe, did some media, and you got to check out the new facility. So what does Fighters Wonderland out there look like?
Not something I would do. I wouldn't want to move my camp to Vegas and use their facility myself. It is a very nice facility, but with everything I have going on here with Jackson Wink, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It is cool though. It's a very beautiful facility. Put a lot of money into it, and yeah, it's cool.
You spent some time out there, you did the media. How did that stuff go? I know you did some behind the scenes stuff that we're gonna see, some network and stuff leading up, I figure, in the show. What was that like, being a part of, you know, they're doing things for a show instead of it was just for like a fight?
That was cool. It was nice to kind of go out there and be taken care of like that, and I enjoyed all that. putting that build up on it. I was used to a lot of it from already being in the UFC, but like doing the behind the scenes, like kind of like a day in the life of me, that stuff was really cool. That was new and that was cool, and I enjoyed it.
A day in the life of Joby Santos. So we're going to get to see that.
A little bit, yeah.
Little bits of that. So it kind of felt like you had your own 24/7 one of those cams going on behind
Exactly, except I was holding the camera.
Oh, so they gave you a little self thing to do
Yeah.
it to kind of give us a video diary of what you were going through?
Yeah.
With this fight coming up, where do you see the advantages being in your game against Manny Vasquez?
I'm better at him in every aspect. Really, the only thing that he has going for him is his length. He's 5'10". It's the first time he's made 125 pounds. It's not an easy cut. And I believe 100% that I'm better than him in striking. And once I put my hands on him, he's going to try and go for that takedown, which I'm ready for. And you don't want me on top of you putting that heavy pressure, because once I do that, I can finish the fight there.
Do you have any concerns in your mind at all about him not making the weight? You mentioned it. You kind of touched on it. It's his first time trying. Weight cutting is not easy. It is an ugly, vicious part of this sport. Can you even let that trickle into your mind, that thought, or you have to be so focused in on you're going to beat up the best Manny Vasquez there is that it's not even a thought to you?
I'm more focused on me making sure that I make the weight, that I perform, and whatever he brings, I'm ready for. And yeah, it is a little bit of an issue, like that he might not make the weight, but he should be a professional and make it, especially for an opportunity like this.
After being released or not renewing your contract with the UFC, however that worked out, you hit back to the regional scene. You've had success in a pair of fights. Do you feel that you've improved where you needed to go back and do damage inside of the octagon and in the division?
I do. I believe 100% that I am a better fighter now 18 months later than I was when I was 24.
Can you tell us about some of those adjustments that you felt needed to be made with Joby to take it to the next level?
Getting cut from the UFC hurt. It wasn't, it didn't feel good because it had been a dream of mine since I was a young boy. And dealing with that issue alone, like, do I try again? Do I go on the hard road of trying again to get back? Or do I say I did good and pursue other things? That question came up, and that was a hard one, and I told myself, like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it all I have, and I'm going to get back. And here I am. I have to perform well next Tuesday, and I'm going to.
I think it's crazy how timing works out, because not too long before that GKO fight got announced, you and me were talking about you applying for some real jobs, maybe becoming an EMT or looking into EMT or firefighting. And then comes along GKO, right? And then comes along the opportunity to get back in the octagon. So it kind of seems like fate took its own hands and has pushed you towards you should still pursue the martial arts and MMA.
Yes, I believe so. And I'm going to.
What do you see out of the flyweight division and how it's changed or grown over these last 18 months? Because I'm pretty sure you've still been keeping an eye on the UFC.
Hasn't changed too much other than Dana White being very upset with DJ. And there's some young good talent in there, like Ben Nguyen. He's pretty good. Yeah, there's some up and coming guys.
There was a ridiculous rumor that spouted out across social media last week that the UFC had potentially contacted other promoters about shopping DJ and the flyweight division. Something like that is laughable. But could you ever think of a monumental decision like that coming in MMA where they'd get that mad about not wanting to make big fights to get rid of a division?
I don't know.
You got scared a little bit. You're like, anything is possible in MMA, right?
Anything, absolutely anything is possible.
Well, we got Joby here, and we're always grilling you about fights, your weight cutting. Sure, there's something else besides fights you'd rather talk about.
Other than fighting?
Is there? Are you is it too fight focused when you're
too fight focused? Right now I'm hungry, cutting weight. I've only been thinking about this fight and winning this fight.
Is there a position that Manny can get you in where you think that'd be his best position and it's his only shot?
No.
No, totally.
No, and if he does get me down, believe 100% I'm going to get back up. That he will not hold me down. It's not going to be 15 minutes of me being on my back. It will not.
Can you compare his game to anybody that you fought in the past so far?
No, he is his own, you know what I mean, he has his own style, his own fighter, so, no.
And where would you rank this challenge in the ones that you've already faced and conquered?
He's a little bit more on the upper scale, again, because of his length, and he's well-rounded, he throws pretty hard, and he does have a good ground game, so I can't overlook that, but.
We know about this Contender Show for as long as Dana White's been talking about it. How many weeks of a camp did you put together? Have you known about this?
6 weeks, perfect.
6 weeks?
6.5 weeks.
And now, as we're talking to you, we're less than a week out. What's your next week look like? What do you do for the next week, and when do you go out to Vegas?
I'm gonna be resting and cutting the weight, really, which is probably the hardest part of the camp. But I leave Saturday. I'll get out there to Vegas around midday and probably go somewhere to watch the fights out there. And again, just cut the weight, make sure I'm sharp, my skills are good, and mentally ready.
And I'm figuring you've already been alerted. Are your weigh-ins like they are for the UFC now? Do you have early weigh-ins for the show?
10 a.m. weigh-ins, yes.
What are your thoughts on that new procedure, getting the early weigh-ins instead of waiting all day?
I'm looking forward to it. I'll have to wake up probably around 6 a.m. to cut the weight to make sure I have enough time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
And is there also an excitement in that extra time of rehydration to see, you know, just that extra recovery is more important?
I'll get to eat lunch and dinner, which I'm excited about. So.
Now, as I said, there's nothing else to talk about besides the fight, but what do you do while you're cutting weight? You listen to music, or are you just focusing? I figure you got to try to get the mind distracted a little bit.
I hang out with my, with whoever's there cutting weight with me, normally my management, and try and just keep things going, laughing, and help the time go.
And then, random question, what's your favorite color?
Black.
Black? Is that why we see the black on the fight shorts a lot from you?
Probably, yeah. Even though black's not really a color, it's the absence of color.
It's a lack of color.
Yeah.
But that would be your favorite. You're in the UFC for a while. Did you change up your walkout song? Did you get to pick your walkout song? Did you have your favorite song?
I don't know. They haven't told us anything about a walkout song yet, but I have no clue what I'm gonna walk out to yet.
Well, were you, in your past Octagon fights, able to walk out to your own choice?
Yeah.
And was it something that was your favorite song, or you have?
Yeah, I like a lot of techno, a lot of Steve Aoki, the DJ, stuff like that. So.
And that's what gets you in that zone, in that place?
It gets me happy. Yeah, it gets me going.
The first episode of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contenders, you get to be on it. Did you look at that like, wow, this is really cool?
I don't think I realized how cool it is. I mean, it's just cool that I get to fight. I'm happy about that. But no, I haven't really looked too deep into that.
This is something you'll digest possibly after the work is done?
Yeah, I mean, having Snoop Dogg there and everything, maybe that'll kind of wake me up afterwards. I'm like, damn, I had Snoop Dogg commentating and. Yeah.
But in lead up, this feels like another day.
No, it feels like another fight. Yeah.
It's a big fight, though. Hopefully soon. Tuesday night, July 11th, tune in. Joey Sanchez with that chance to earn the UFC contract. Once again, Joey, I got to thank you for joining me here. Asked you on a couple days' notice. As always, it's great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to throw it to commercial, then we'll come back and there'll be a little more Caged Minds before we wrap up Red Menace.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Geckos, off Academy, and in Nob Hill. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah. And I'm Samantha. Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewnetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks.
Anything can happen in combat sports. I don't know if you guys were paying attention. Hopefully you were. In Australia this past weekend, you had Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn takes, now at 17-0, the WBO title in a controversial decision. Anything could happen. That gives us hope for Mayweather McGregor. You never know. As for this weekend, and until we're back with you next week, what should you be looking for in the combat sports world? Well, again, Thursday on UFC Fight Pass, you have the UFC Hall of Fame induction ceremony featuring WEC legend, former featherweight champion, the California Kid, Uriah Faber, a true legend in the sport of mixed martial arts that oh so deserves this honor and this recognition, along with a ton of other guys. You also have on Friday then, for International Fight Week, your next event is the Tough 25 finale, the Tough Redemption. You can tune in Wednesday night on FS1 to see who will actually be fighting for the Tough Redemption. Michael Johnson, Justin Gaethje in the main event. Going to be a slobber knocker. Leading up to UFC 213 on Saturday night, Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, co-main event, interim middleweight title on the line. Main event, Valentina Shevchenko challenging Amanda Nunes. They are in a rematch. Nunes took the first fight. Can Shevchenko get revenge and take the women's bantamweight title from the Brazilian, who has been a knockout artist as of late? Locally, though, I implore you to buy the pay-per-view, put that on your DVR, and then locally come out and join me at the Santa Ana Star Center. King of the Cage, Chosen Few, Chris Brown making his pro debut, a guest of ours recently, and they mentioned him, our guest Michael, earlier on the card. A stacked event. Juan Archuleta defending against Vic Murdoch, the King of the Cage featherweight champion. A stacked card, 9 professional fights, more than I've ever seen on a King of the Cage card. Go to cageminds.com for all your info. Cage Minds MMA show on YouTube. We have a ton of interviews up. I've taken over the show, and I think it was pretty good and a lot of fun. For Leroy, for Michael, who weren't here, who left me, who went on vacation, hope they're having fun. This has been Cage Minds and Red Menace TV. Thanks for tuning in.